Adolescents use a PodMod e-cigarettes definition. An electronic cigarette or e-cigarette is a handheld battery-powered vaporizer that simulates smoking by providing some of the behavior aspect of smoking, including the hand-to-mouth action of smoking.
Imagine if there were an alternative to smoking cigarettes. Imagine this alternative could help millions of people quit smoking and came with only a fraction of the harmful chemicals that cigarettes do. Well, you don't have to imagine it. It exists. E-cigarettes are the most innovative and promising smoking cessation product yet invented. So public health officials and anti-tobacco activists are all in favor of this life-saving innovation, right? Actually, they're almost all totally against it. Why? Because incredibly, they make no substantial distinction between e-cigarettes and real cigarettes, even though they are completely different products. To begin with, e-cigarettes aren't cigarettes. They contain no tobacco. Instead, a liquid containing nicotine derived from tobacco leaves is vaporized, and users of e-cigarettes inhale that vapor.
Application in nursing. The intervention administered by nurse and focus on preventing the relapsing to smoking. Patients receive an 19-page manual that emphasizes how to identify and deal with the situation.
E-cigarettes, vape pens, Juuls. They're often marketed as safe alternatives to smoking, but their cool designs, fun flavors, and the fact that they're easy to hide means it's not only smokers who want them, it's kids. And for kids, they're definitely not safe. Teens should absolutely not use Juuls, e-cigarettes, or any similar products. Here's why. When kids use Juuls or other e-cigarettes, they're getting a big dose of nicotine. This disrupts their brain development. It changes the connections between brain cells, causing problems with learning, mood, and impulse control. It makes depression and anxiety worse.
And as any smoker can tell you, nicotine is highly addictive. That makes it very difficult to quit e-cigarettes. And vaping makes it much more likely that kids will smoke real cigarettes later. It's true that a few e-cigarette brands don't contain nicotine, but most of them do. And all of them contain other dangerous chemicals like these. Formaldehyde, which is found in glue and embalming fluid. Diacetyl, which causes lung disease.
Pros and cons. Electronic cigarette can cause an increase in cough and wheezing in adolescents as well as an increase in asthma exacerbation, or the reduction of exacerbation of chronic obstructive pulmonary disease among adult smokers with COPD who switch to electronic cigarette in whole or in part. Electronic cigarette can help adults.
Welcome back. Keeping tobacco products out of the hands of minors. It continues to be a hot topic as the popularity of e-cigarettes and vaping continues to rise. Just last week, in fact, we told you about Tobacco 21, an ordinance the city of Youngstown is considering, which would raise the minimum age to buy tobacco in the city to 21 years old. And if you remember, our own Caroline Collins told us recently about a hot trend called juuling. It's a discrete electronic device that can be charged up in a laptop. Some students even smoking this nicotine-packed e-juice in school just because of how discreet that it is. A very timely subject matter as we welcome in Dr. Jonathan Winnikoff this morning. Good morning.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much for joining us this morning. Now, you're a pediatrician with Massachusetts General Children's Hospital. Mm-hmm. You're here in town speaking with clinical staff from what we've learned at Akron Children's Hospital, right? Mm-hmm. Tell me a little bit about your visit.
Yeah. So we're going to be covering third-hand smoke and electronic cigarette use.
Okay.
And as a general pediatrician, what we've been seeing is a lot of kids who are addicted to these new products.
Issues in Ecuador. Daily cigarette consumption in Ecuador fell by 16 years, according to figures from the National Institute of Statistics and Census in NEC. The reduction was significant after the Institute registered that in 1998, 9.5% of population 15 years of age and older smoking every day, while in 2014 that habit was reduced to 2.18%.
Some say e-cigarettes aren't dangerous,
But science shows nicotine can harm teens' developing brains.
no matter how they're exposed.
Let's do an experiment to find out.
Here's a teen who won't be using e-cigarettes.
Now we need one willing to risk their brain development.
Anyone care to volunteer your kid?
Anyone?
I'm Dr. Vivek Murthy, U.S. Surgeon General. Your kids are not an experiment. Protect them from e-cigarettes.
Conclusion. In conclusion, we have to completely replace electronic cigarette with combustible tobacco cigarette reduced to expose user to number toxins and carcinogens present in combustible tobacco.
Cigarette usage amongst teenagers has decreased dramatically over the last 20 years. However, in the last 5 years or so, e-cigarettes have become increasingly popular. It is an electronic device, and it uses these little cartridges that have chemicals in them. They have nicotine in them, and they generally will have some sort of flavoring in them. The pen acts as a vaporizer, so it takes that liquid and turns it into something you can inhale. It's been a successful way for adults to wean themselves off of cigarettes. However, generally speaking, teenagers who are using electronic cigarettes, that is their first entryway into using tobacco products. They are not using them to wean themselves off cigarettes. They're used for recreational purposes. It's very easy for teenagers to get a hold of these. The cartridges are cheaper than buying cigarettes, and I think the whole idea that it's almost like a healthy alternative to smoking, I think appeals to a younger population, and the fact that there's different flavors. It doesn't taste like cigarette smoke. It tastes like berries or creme brulee or cherry flavored. Electronic cigarettes are usually a little bit bigger, and so therefore if you're a high school student and you want to use your electronic